Oh my God, oh my God, oh my Lord God. Hi guys, Stephen R. Ford from R. Ford Fortune with his wife Lily.
Hi, welcome. And Nucci.
Nucci's a young cat and he wanted to be in the picture, so.
Just for a little bit, so there off he goes. See you later, Nucci.
But anyway, today's video, we're going to talk about family trust. What is a family trust? What is the question? What does it mean?
Yes, darling, let's pick your brain. Let's ask you what the family trust is about and what can people benefit from it, or families anyway.
But before we get there, do subscribe to our YouTube video and you'll get a lot more of this content in the future as time goes by. There are one of the things that we have experienced in our lifetime that can help each family or yourself in that case. Basically, we are investors these days. We're investing money to generate extra income. No different to working. You've got to work the system to be able to achieve it. But today, family trust is all about, in that word, family trust. It's like saying, trust your family. Pretty simple. So in the context of a legal entity or item, a family trust can be put together by families, just your own family. But it has to be at least 3 family members, I think. That's the legal term, or could be 2, I could be wrong.
It is 3.
And if you set that up, you're setting it for the future. You're not just setting it for now. Because what happens in the future, if you don't have a family trust to look after what you have as a family, anybody can pick at what you got. Or it might end up in the wrong hands. The hands of others that you don't necessarily wish it could be managed or left to them. It's like a will, for example.
And a protection for your children in the future as well.
But basically, my wife and I, around about 2009, we sat before some professional legal family trust lawyers to teach us all these things that we have a little bit of knowledge of. We don't know everything. But what we do know is that we need to protect what we work hard for today for the future. And a family trust is one of those legal documents or legal constitutions that the family can put together to make sure what you and I work for today is left
for the next generation.
That's basically your family. Or you can leave it to charity or bequest what you have, whatever that may be. So the family trust is set up in a sense just by you and your family who come together and talk about it, and making sure you minute, meaning you write down all the things that you want for the future, especially if you've got properties and assets and businesses that you rather be maintained by the family, whether it be your children or grandchildren. These family trust entities can help you do that, and that's very, very important. And
there is another point for having a family trust, isn't it? The more people you have in it, isn't it, the more power you have to access.
What Lily's trying to say is, as family grows, you're going to get more members of the family come into the family. And that's part of the parcels why you want to protect what you have as a family. Because any family member that marries into the family also, they can have a stake in your family, say fortunes, for example, or assets or property. So setting up a family trust is very important. And it starts by you and your family getting together occasionally and just having general meeting within your home. Everything is done within your home. And if you don't understand it, then you hire somebody who is familiar with family trust to come and talk to the family in regards to the family trust. Now, family trust is like a business. The only difference, it's called family trust, and you run it exactly like a business. But the beauty of a family trust is family puts together what they want as a family law, for example, or legal document that people has to follow. Some people in the future might contest it, but that's the beauty, see? If you don't have those, anybody can take anything away that you own. But if you have a family trust, it's very hard to be contested or fight over court.
So the families that you're talking about, would it be immediate family like mother, father and the children and grandchildren, or could it be the siblings?
No, it's set up by your mum and dad for the siblings. So if mum and dad passes away, then the siblings takes over, especially if you've got a lot of properties or property portfolio, business assets. And that's what it's for. It's to protect the family fortune. Now, You might not understand this, but if you look at, say, the royal family, well, let's just use the British royal family, with whom is King Charles at the moment. You'd be surprised. They have what is called a family trust. They were set up way back then, that it cannot be contested. And whatever that was prepared way back continues today to bless the royal family. So you treat your family, you might not think you're royalty, but you get this bit of an attitude sort of idea. You treat yourself like royalty. Who would not want to treat their family at the best of its concepts? Royalty is just one of the beautiful names that we can use today to mimic a lifestyle just like royalty. Who wants to be poor? Certainly not me.
Well, we are a royal family, if you look at it in the spiritual form as well.
In what God said, we are royal family. So in the reality world, the royal family is constituted to those who are deservedly owns those titles, like the royal family I just said a moment ago. But if you want to be part of that understanding, then you got to understand, you got to accept just yourself as royalty. And family trust is part of that process to look after what we have today for the generations to come. So the many generations after we set up what is called a family trust will continue to follow the guideline that we write up today. Let's say, for example, the American Constitution. Now that was written way back then. Of course it gets amended through ages. Just look at that, just the same. It's family trust. It's a very important document and entity that we highly encourage every family who looks at our video to look into setting a family trust. Of course there's going to be a dispute. That's normal within the family we're talking about. But that's why you have family meetings to talk about these issues and making sure you minute it, meaning record it, and keep those records for future reference. But with computers these days, it can be kept on USB or computers, of course.
So how much would it be to set up a family trust?
We pay, this is cost to lawyers. The cost to the family should be nothing, absolutely zero. The only thing it's going to cost the family to set up a family trust, maybe if you want documents to be legalized, which means you've got to go and see a JP, get a stamp of approval from JP that your document becomes a legal entity because it's recognized now by the Justice of Peace of your country. That might cost you nothing, but again, a JP, they don't charge us. So it could be for free. As long as you just set up, it costs nothing. The only thing it may cost you is, which is normal, pay taxes on your family trust. And some of the family trust entity that you don't know of, it's called gifting. And if the family have assets, for example, not beneficiaries or beneficiaries, can get a gifting from the family trust. And I think today, each year, a family member or the beneficiary can earn around about $27,000 a year, I think, tax-free from the family trust. So there is a lot of things, or wonderful things anyway, that the family can achieve and reach just using the family trust or corporation. Very similar sort of idea. But today, that's what we want to continue talking, setting up family trust. Only because we have our own family trust with our own family. And here's a true story. We set this up in 2009, I think. And by 2010, I had a little bit of issue with my taxes because I had a company under my name, which it shouldn't have been. It should have been under a company name. But anyway, I had taxes to pay, and we had sold a home. And that home was under also my name, which is totally wrong. And we were just going through the transition of turning the family home into the family trust. It just got into the family trust and said it in my name. Anyway, I had a tax bill to pay. If it wasn't for the family trust, I would have paid 100% of my tax bill. But because of the family trust, I only paid 1/3 of it. And that's a classic example. That's not tax dodging, just using, again, family trust. It's a legal entity, legal document, and legal understanding that it works for families to look after your money, look after your fortune.
So it sounds pretty easy.
It is easy.
To join, to start up your family trust, you only need
set up
three members in the family trust to start it. You will see the benefits of it.
But if you need any more information, my details should be below the video here. Contact me on Telegram, ask some more questions. I'll help you set up your family trust. But it becomes then an entity that it requires you to bring the members or the trustees, Board of Trustees, into a meeting every month to record or amend
down
or
that
keep
you've had a
documents.
meeting.
It's just a legal document.
Okay, so
It's pretty simple.
so what would you tell someone that really wants to start right now, right, listening to us? What's the first step?
Start writing down on a piece of paper what you want as your idea for what you have, say for your home, or for what you have in your bank account, or investments, for example. What do you want? Say, for example, you died today. What do you want those entities or those assets or belongings? What do you want with it? Do you want to just gift it to each family member, or you want to designate it so it becomes a legal entity that the family don't squander everything that you have worked for, spend it all, and they're back to zero? And that's the problem.
So first you want to say, write it down, write everything down that you would like. Is
Yes.
that what you're saying?
Yep, write it down on a piece of paper. It's important.
Then the second step is,
Call the family into a meeting and say we're going to set up a family meeting. Now, if you can't do it yourself and you're unfamiliar with some of the terms and how to set it up, you can also approach what it's called public trust. They're the same sort of power, but now somebody else is going to look after it for you on your behalf. But it's going to cost you money. That's the only difference. It's going to cost you money to get the public trust to do what you can do seriously at your home, especially if your children are educated and know, a little bit about education, how to use computers and how to type things. They can do that for you or help you set that up as a parent. And that's very, very important. But that's what I said. If you can't do it, and if you're unfamiliar how family trust work, approach a public trust and they'll help you set it up. But of course, they're going to charge you very similar like lawyers. So if you can learn to do it yourself, there's a lot of ideas on YouTube these days where you can go and learn how to set up a family trust or successful family trust, by all means.
amazing. Thank you for all that. Is that all we need to know about setting up a family trust?
Yeah,
Is there anything else to add on to that?
Firstly, just write things down and talk with your family. I mean, that's what it's called, family trust. If you don't trust your family, how are you going to work with them? So you've got to trust your family. That's all you got. Now, you can go and trust other partners or friends. Hey, that's up to you. But the reality is there is a legal entity these days we can use, what is called family trust, to help us achieve great things with finances in our lives that can continue within the family when we're dead. The worst case scenario, if you don't have a family trust, when you die and your home is left to the children can actually sell that home, squander all the money, and it's all gone, and they're back to zero again. Now that's the problem. If you look after your family property, for example, and you mandate or write down what you want to do, but the family can't sell the family home, for example, but the family home can be used to buy other family homes. And that's another issue where the family trust comes into. You're not bound just because you say, for example, you got the parents own a home, just to sell that home. No, you can use that home to buy more properties and continue to build on what you have right now, or what the parents have right now.
As a family.
Where most people, all they want to do is cash that property up, meaning sell it and get the money. The problem is once people get money in their hand, they can easily spend it little by little, and it'll be gone in no time. Then you're back to zero again. No property, no home. So it's important to understand. Family trust can also help the family using what you have right now to get more.
Equity.
So if you learn some of these concepts, you'd be surprised. You're living in a especially here in New Zealand, land of honey and
Milk and honey.
Utilize some of these systems and you'd be surprised. Wow, you don't have to work also at your job to achieve a lot of things. Your family home can do that, and by using what is called family trust, enhance.
So what I was trying to say before was a family trust, you'd have more power because of all the people that you have in the family trust. You've got more power in money-wise and assets to what you're saying, to use it to buy other homes, properties.
Correct.
Yeah, that's why I feel that a family trust is more powerful.
Than you by yourself.
Yes, than you on your own trying to
achieve things.
Achieve things, exactly.
But
it's
anyway,
okay.
Any more thoughts?
I think we've covered most of it now. I think you've covered everything. First step, write it all down. Second step, seek a
Professional advice.
professional advice. Taking the first step is the best thing.
Start meeting with your family, people you trust.
Absolutely.
We all come from families. It's just that some families hate each other. That's their problem. But if you love your family, you do something for the
I
family,
think
for the future.
Absolutely. Life is too short for us to think about other things. Forgive each other. Just take it like a
That's life.
water off a duck's back. Let it slide off.
Everybody's going to get hurt in life.
Yeah,
That's just life.
I think you can have more
Forgiving and understanding.
in your heart just to move forward and do the things you need to do, which is building your
Family
trust for the next generation and the next generation after that.
It's an infinite document that you leave or you set up today before you're dead. But anyway, do subscribe to our YouTube video and you'll get lots more of this content in the future. But if you want to know lots more about family trust, contact me and I can give you some advice, or I'll put you some great lawyers that can help you set it all up for you.
Yeah, thank you for joining us again on our YouTube videos. We look forward to seeing you again on our next video. And thank you.
But before we go, Happy New Year Constitution 50th celebration this week.
Oh, absolutely. Whakalofa atu ki mtolosi tau New Year ne whakanono mai he aho nei. For this is the week that we celebrate Wangahau New Year. Whakawelahi ki mtolosi for life.
Good. Awesome. We love you.
We love you.
God loves you. See you in my next video.
Bye for now.